Hey Aquarius, I'm here to give you just a love bite, a royal card read straight from the hip with lots of lip, and we're looking at this triad of Venus transits that we're about to move through and seeing how they are going to impact your love life. I am working with the Halloween Oracle for you. It's what really called. So I think maybe there was something that went around in the fall of 2023 that's significant in this situation. There's something here that you're working really hard to release, okay? There's somebody that you need to forgive in this situation. And when I say forgive, a lot of people have many different ideas about what forgiveness looks like, right? And they tell you you really have to be at this place of wanting to sort of like pardon another, but I don't really feel like that's even an accurate like perception of forgiveness in all cases. I mean, sometimes if you're going to continue forward with a particular person, it is, if you want to hope to have like a new beginning with somebody, then that certainly comes into play. You do have to kind of like let go of what happened back there, and you have to be willing to leave it in the past so that you can move forward cleanly together and rebuild your relationship. Now, if you don't have any intentions on doing that though, and I do feel like it's interesting, there's something here that you don't really want to go back to because to do so is just not intelligent. You found a particular love story very draining, like somebody took a lot from you. Somebody's energy was too enmeshed with yours. Somebody you felt was just like sort of like just squeezing the life out of you. I have to say, okay, you may have felt like you got like so much older being with this person. I don't know why it's coming through like that, but it is. Maybe it actually even had some kind of effect on your health. Okay, you felt your health really decline when you were with this person. There's something here, okay? It might have some kind of like connection to something you were holding on to, some kind of hurt in connection to your relationship, all right? Something that you just wouldn't let go, and you started to realize, wow, this is really having a negative effect on me. It's even starting to impact my physical health. It's a lot. I do feel though that sometimes the best you get is just like, I'm letting it go. Like, I'm not going to focus on that anymore. Okay. For those of you who are like, I don't ever want to go back to that place again in my heart. I don't ever want to experience that kind of love relationship ever again. Some of you may be like, I just don't even want to focus on that right now. Some of you may have felt really shut down. I do feel like you're at the place where if you really needed to cut ties because you were dealing with an unhealthy relationship, I feel like you're at the place where you're just like, you know what? Sometimes the best thing you can do is just let go. And that's what forgiveness looks like, right? So don't don't feel any guilt about that, right? Don't tell yourself that you should feel this or you should feel that about it, or forgiveness has to look like this. No, sometimes it's just saying, you on your way, me on mine, and I've nothing against you, but I just want to just move forward. I don't want to have a conversation. I don't want to have any kind of closure. Sometimes the closure is you just deciding I'm shutting that door, right? That's coming through for somebody here. All right. So I wanted to bring that in for Aquarius, and let's just dive into it. This is for any significant Aquarius placement, or if you happen to have a prominent placement in the 11th house. Likewise, if you're a Leo rising, this could be coming in very strongly for you. All right. Bottom of the deck, energy, jack-o'-lantern, protection. So I do feel like a lot of you may be grappling with somebody from your past that you feel like you do need to protect yourself from this influence, because you feel like it could really like jeopardize something. Yeah, look, there's forgiveness on the bottom of the deck here. And this is what flew to the side, okay? Maybe there was some kind of romantic involvement you had that really rocked the stability in your home or in a significant relationship with Hearth here. It says happiness in our hearts and homes. So I feel like you have protection in this area right now, all right? I don't feel like you did, though, when this, person was on the scene. For some of you, it was, somebody that was very seducing. You kind of like thought maybe the grass would be greener on the other side. You started to explore that, and it led you down, quite the rabbit hole, I have to say. And it did threaten a situation on the home front for those of you who maybe were already married or in a serious relationship where you'd been living together, you'd been building together. I do feel like that is being restored. Okay, something's being recovered here. Maybe you were hoping, like some of you, you're like, I've been in the doghouse, man. I just want to go back home. I just want things to feel right again. Maybe you had to really like almost lose what you thought was just, not it. Maybe you stopped valuing its presence because you got kind of lured away by something that maybe it looked good, you thought this is hot, it lit up a certain part of you, and it was an endorphin rush. It was, it was the attraction. It's what it made you feel inside of yourself. And you thought maybe it was love, and then you found out, oh, gee, that's not it. I just want things to feel good at home again. You may have been hoping that, the person on the other side of that, and you got to pick what side you're on, okay? It could be somebody dealt with you in this way, okay? And now they're wanting to come back home. They're wanting to make it right, okay? I think this is playing out for a lot of you. Can you forgive? That's the question. All right, can you forgive? Can they forgive? All right. You want to get something on the right page. You want to have some transformation in this situation. I do feel like you have protection here, okay? So where you're really, devoted to healing a relationship, I do see that this is possible. You can get things on the right page, but it does involve accountability. Whoever you're dealing with, accountability needs to be on both sides. And when we're dealing with situations, it can be really easy to just blame one person, right? Especially if one person, let's face it, sometimes you are in relationship dynamics where one person really, it's like kind of like you got to own it. Like you sort of like are the one who put the relationship in crisis. But even though that may be the case, you may have been the one that pulled the trigger, okay? Or vice versa. They may have been the one who pulled the trigger. But really, there was stuff going on with both of you for a long time before that happened. Yeah, there's regrets here in this situation. There could be regrets about something lost to the past. It's a ghost that you need to give up. Regret is a really useless emotion. It's like you can sit there forever, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but it's a blind spot, all right, that really keeps you stuck. Then you're living in the past. You're not really living right now. If you have regrets, like, how can you turn it around? What can you do? Do it, and maybe you are looking at this. You're entering into some kind of healing process, I feel, or this is already underway. This is something you've been dealing with. Maybe you've been grappling with something internally within yourself. Some of you have been going through a physical healing process, and it's really illuminating to you that, I have a lot of stuff connected to this. It's like you're understanding the connection between like the emotional body, the mental body, the spiritual body, and the physical body and the health. And you're starting to really look at healing certain things, letting go, releasing, so you can heal physically. Some of you had a health crisis that arrived on your doorstep, and it called for you to really do this work, okay? I do feel like something's happening here. You are really valuing life, and you want to live without regrets. I think there's something you need to heal here too, in order to just feel at home within yourself too. in order to feel peaceful in your own heart and soul. You know, I can't just like walk away from this. I can't just leave this like some hungry ghost in the past. I do need to do something here. So let's see what's coming in here. One more round, and then I'm going to do a split of the deck, and I'll pull out some other cards here for you, Aquarius. All right. Bottom of the deck. Scrying. Intuition, okay? So right now, you know, the future is yet to form. It can be anything you want it to be. It's interesting. It almost looks like a rose in this crystal ball, okay? So maybe you're tired of holding on to the thorns and you want to, like, you know, experience the sweetness of the bloom. You're heading into uncharted territory. Like, you got to trust your intuition and what feels right. And maybe sometimes that doesn't make sense, or maybe sometimes it requires you to do something that you're like, I never would have done this before, but you need to. And these came up together. So yes, you're in a pause right now. There, you are dealing with a matter of the past, looking at strength here coming in. For some of you, you're dealing with a Leo. Some of you are Leo risings, all right? This is really experiencing, this is really being experienced by you quite intensely, I feel. I think that this is like you kind of thawing out after a long time of sort of being in the winter of your love life. You know what I mean? I feel like you really needed to like just take a time out. You needed to really sit with things. And for some of you, you were like, I need to get stabilized on the home front before I can even deal with this issue. It might have, you know, caused a little bit too much to get stirred up. Some of you opened up Pandora's box and it just like stirred everything up so intensely that there really was a need to like, okay, I need to just take a break from this. I need to ground out. I need to go into kind of like isolation mode here and just like, you know, tend to the basics, right? I just need to feel nice and stabilized in my home before I address this. I do feel like you have the strength to overcome whatever this is that's still hanging over your head in the past. I do, right? What's on the other side here? Yeah. Graveyard. Unnecessary fear. Unnecessary fear. But what I'm getting here is that something about this experience was extremely activating for you. All right? It was activating for you. It could have brought up like a lot of deep stuff. It could have brought up a lot of trauma, you know? It could have really just stirred up stuff to such an intensity that you needed time to integrate it. I mean, nobody can ever tell you the way through love's, you know, initiations. Like sometimes you have to go through some pretty heavy initiations to get to the real thing, man. I'm going to use these cards for you here. They're calling me. Yeah, look, you've had a lot of fears about the past. And I do feel like for some of you, like trauma got activated, all right? You might have really been processing a lot in your dreams, having trouble sleeping, you know, just really being in a place of anxiety and fear. And every time you thought of opening up to love, you know, the fear caused you to shut back down again. Again, this could be in relation to a Leo, that lion energy was sort of like hanging over you. This could also be just like something from the past. It's like, it's a hungry ghost. It's a ghost of regret too. It kind of haunts you. Maybe you feel like, I wish I would have said this, or I wish I would have done this, you know, and you're kind of like kicking yourself for it, or you're being hard on yourself for it. There's something that's nagging at you here. But I'm telling you, where you want to experience the healing, you can do it. Like, you can make this happen, all right? So let's see some more details here coming through for Aquarius and how these Venus conjunctions are going to be affecting them. I mean, we do have a date with Destiny coming up on April 17th. That's when we got Venus conjunct the node. So there's a lot that can happen there, and it's leading up to some surprise experiences. All right, on 4/20, we have Uranus and Jupiter conjunct, which can make the impossible possible, and in quite unexpected ways. There's a lot that can happen here. There's a lot that can shift. Yeah, right now you don't see it. Three of Wands in reverse. You may think that a particular possibility is close to you. Let's see if that's really true. I know that's what you might be telling yourself right now. I think you're kind of in this place where you're really feeling some regret about something. There's something you're grappling with here. You know, for some of you, it's like causing disruption in a home. Like somebody's like feeling regret about causing disruption in what was a stable relationship. They're like, I don't know how to get it back to where it was. Yeah. This could have been somebody who at one point was like exploring their options, you know, or they, you know, were involved with people outside of the relationship. And maybe now they're realizing, I don't want this. Maybe I thought I wanted this and I don't. In that case, you know, somebody here is sort of like creating space from, you know, the sides I got, okay? Because there's something deeper going on here. This person's really reflecting internally. Like, I don't know if it's right for me to be doing this right now when I got all this coming up. Maybe you started realizing it was a distraction, or somebody did that you're dealing with realized it was a distraction. I almost said extraction. So I do feel like there's one particular energy here that's too corded into your love story, your situation, and it does need to be extracted. Okay. You do still have some kind of energetic tie. And before there can be this real like release from that tie, it could be a tie that binds. You know what I'm saying? In order for there to be full release there, somebody here, you know, needs to forgive. They need to let go. Right? Like I said, sometimes forgiveness is just letting go. And if you're holding on to anger, and if you're holding on to resentment, and if you're blaming the person, and you did this, you did that, you know, and it's keeping you locked in that place, you have to understand you're still feeding that energetic connection. So it keeps both of you stuck there. All right. Keeps both of you stuck. Could be around a Leo, possibly. Right. But I don't think the stuckness is going to continue much longer, because there is some transformation happening here. And we do have Mercury going direct on the 25th, and there's a lot of supportive influences coming in with these Venus transits that do support healing communication, right? And the ability to look at some pretty heavy stuff and find the way through to integration. So, you know, just have a little faith here. This is my timing card. So within 2 months, there's going to be some kind of transformation in how you're feeling right now, and in a particular relationship where you're wanting to have some kind of healing, some kind of closure. And for some of you, it's renewal, a renewal of a commitment in a relationship, right? Give it a little time, all right? Within the next couple months, there's going to be changes happening here, but it is a process, okay? And it's a process that can't be rushed. But once all of this, you know, takes root, it will move forward with a lot more ease than you expect, okay? A lot more ease. You're going to bridge the gap of the distance you currently feel between you and the person that you're wanting to connect with, okay? A lot of you are trying to reconnect in a relationship, whether that's reconnect with just the desire to even open your heart for love if you've been single for a long time, or reconnect in a marriage where there's been division, maybe caused by somebody having an affair, okay? And that disrupted the household, right? Or if this is like reconnecting with somebody that you know, haven't been involved with in a long time, but you haven't forgotten them. Like, this person's still on your mind. You haven't been able to let it go. And you feel like, I can't let it go. Oh, I just heard that. I can't let it go. You can't let it go. But what if you have to? You know, what if you have to? There's always two people. There's always two people in that equation. So, you know, what if you have to? You know, in that case, if one person's made it clear that they want to move on, there really is no other choice. I mean, you have to honor that. You have to let it go, right? That may be coming in for somebody there, right? Somebody may be having a really hard time letting go. You got the star, all right? Your energy here, and the Three of Wands. Do you see? We talk about letting go, and look what happens. You let go, and what you were hoping for comes in. There's that answered prayer. There's that message of love. It comes when you let go and you just focus on, continuing with your healing. You say your prayers, you set your intentions, you let, all of life, spirit, let your wishes be known that I want to heal this connection. But then you got to let it go. And you just got to trust the way things flow. But I do feel like there's a really significant healing communication coming in here, right? You'll experience this within the next 2 months, okay? I do feel like something's getting kicked off this cycle, but it's like a growth process, okay? It's unfolding. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And there's a lot to learn here. You're just at the beginning of this process. 21 here, right? And it will develop because I saw 21 and then I saw 21 22. So it's like it will progress. There is a building block here. There's something to work with. Both people are willing to learn about what went wrong here and how we can set it right, okay? You could be dealing with an earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Any more details here about what's coming in love and romance with these Venus transits for Aquarius? Whoa, slam dunk. It landed in this crystal vase down there. Interesting. Crystal vase that used to have flowers in it. Okay, somebody felt like they shoot their shot. They shot their somebody felt like Mercury retrograde, man. It always has me sound like an idiot. Yeah, maybe you feel like that. Maybe you feel like I feel like an idiot. I don't know what to say. It's going to come out wrong. I just know it. Somebody's sort of afraid to shoot their shot because they're afraid that if they shoot their shot, it's going to get blocked. All right. But, I think you need to take the risk, man. You want to send somebody some flowers or something? Look, there you are, Aquarius. You like, I'm going to throw myself into it, but I know it's not going to work out. It's like you're sort of like canceling it before you even make the attempt here, man. Okay? Or somebody's feeling like that towards you, right? They're very scared. They're afraid it's going to be blocked. They're afraid that it's going to be blocked, and then the person's going to be like mad at them, bite their head off, and then they're going to like send them out the door with 10 swords in the back and 3 swords in their heart. This could be around a Leo, I have to say. Maybe you're used to this energy. This could be around a Leo. We do have the sun here. I think you got like really like the young part of yourself is activated here, okay? If you're a Leo rising, this is coming in really strongly for you, right? This is unnecessary fear. Remember? Look, there's so much happiness and beauty here that wants to come forward. And La Chuparosa, the hummingbird, sweetness, joy, right? But in order to rise up into that north node, it makes me think of the medicine wheel. You got to work with the snake medicine in the south. You got to shed the old skin. You got to have that fire test of truth. You have to have a trial by fire. You have to let the old way burn away and rise up in your consciousness to get a different view and take the risk, man. Look, you'll be satisfied with the way it turns out. You will. But this is what you're afraid of. You're afraid, no, they're going to resist. They're going to refuse my offer. They're going to think I'm being slippery and I'm untrustworthy and they're going to send me on the way. No, look, this person will be ready to build with you. Okay? 24:44 on the clock. Right? 6, new vision hatching, new way of seeing things, potential for healing. Life path 6 could be in play there. 44, 8 energy, manifesting something that works. Okay? It does. It works. It works for both people. We got something we can build here. We got something we can work on here. where you're wanting that healing in the home, you can work this out, right? I really do see that. You could be dealing with life path number 8, okay? It's an unnecessary fear, right? Look, if you want love, this is what it comes down to. You can't have love if you're operating from a place of fear. And if you want love, you can recognize you're afraid of fear, okay? You're afraid of fear. You're afraid of fear? I'm afraid of fear. I don't like feeling afraid. Who likes to feel afraid? Nobody likes feeling afraid. So what? You'd rather deny that that's really what you're feeling? What if you would just admit it? I'm afraid. I'm scared. I'm scared to love. I'm scared to open my heart. No, I can't do that. Then I'm a wimp. That's nonsense. Like, drop the BS, okay? Drop the belief systems, drop the stories. If you want love, then the best thing you can do is thumb your nose at fear and just move through it anyway. So what? Reframe it. Stop calling it fear. Start calling it excitement. Excitement, because anything can happen, right? I know it doesn't really work that way. I think you need to face the fear, though, because it looks like there's something beautiful here. Look, you face your fear, cut the deck, you get the 6 wands. Then you're going to be feeling cocky. You're like, I wasn't afraid. I knew it'd work out all along. Yeah. The reality is, you know that something here is really worth taking a stand for, all right? And maybe there's other people who are in disagreement with you, or they don't think that you should, head in this direction. Or maybe you're afraid the person that you're heading toward has a whole team of people blocking your way because they feel like you're no good for them, or they're angry with you about what you did to them back there. But I see it turning out very well, okay? So just stick to your guns. Stick to your conviction. Do what you need to do. Be true to you and be true to your heart. And I think if you shoot that shot, it's going to turn out well for you, Aquarius, right? Yes, Freya, be bold, okay? Be adventurous. Take risks. You could have been dealing with a Capricorn because this came up in Capricorn's read, and I did cut this deck before I put it back in the box. So interesting that Freya came up here again. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn in your situation. Either way, you'll never know unless you try, okay? And if you don't try, that's the only thing that's going to be hanging around like a ghost haunting you in the future is the regret. Why didn't I try? Why didn't I try? It's worth it. If it's love, it's worth it. It's worth it to shoot the shot, okay? Worth it. At least then you don't have to live with regret, right? Okay. Let's get an overarching theme for Aquarius in relation to love, matters of the heart. What is coming in for Aquarius with this series of Venus conjunctions we got coming up in matters of love? What goddess is presiding over their love life and helping them find the right path to the path of heart, clearing the way, clearing the brush that's overgrown during their time of their winter in love, okay? So we got Ishtar boundaries here, bottom of the deck. So you do need to create, some safe space around a healing process. So if you have been dealing with interfering people or, people weighing in with their 2 cents or causing any kind of disruption in healing this connection, you need to put boundaries around that, okay? You do need to create a safe space for healing something, especially if you're hoping to, reunite in terms of like a household or a marriage, a serious committed relationship. There's some kind of safety that needs to be created in this situation that you're trying to heal, and it can't have the interference of other people, right? So lay down appropriate boundaries. I just heard some of you may need to do that legally, all right? So I don't know if you're dealing with a particularly volatile character here. If so, that may be, something you need to look into. You may need to look into a restraining order if you are dealing with a threatening situation and you're really wanting to heal a relationship or have your home feel secure, okay? So this is something to look at here. But what we got here on the other side is we got Mawu, Mother Earth. You are called upon to help with environmentalism. Interesting. I feel like this is kind of coming through to just to remind you to, ground out in nature as you prepare to take this risk, because I feel like you are going to shoot the shot. I do. I think that when we connect with the earth, it really does stabilize us. And it also reminds us that we're always supported, you know, we're always supported. And nature is the wisest teacher. And there's something that you'll be able to really like process and release and get prepared for. If you maybe you need to go on a little bit of like a retreat, somewhere in nature, maybe to the mountains, maybe go on a nice hike. Mountains are great. They lift you above everything, right? They give you a whole different view, a little bit of a perspective. But I feel like maybe you need to drop in a little bit first. I feel this, okay? Before you have this communication, just give yourself some time to kind of like ground out, feel that support coming in that way so you can get really centered. And from there, I think things will turn out quite beautifully. Right, let me see what we got here. Yeah, look at this. Bottom of the deck, Isolde, undying love. All right. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. Right. So there's somebody on the other side of this story that loves you too. Right. And you'll be amazed at the power of love, what it can do. Where you feel like something can't be overcome, you may be surprised. You can find a way through. Right, let me do a cut of the deck here and see what we got. Just to close it out. Shoot your shot, man. Okay? Be focused in your intention. I think this is clear. Okay? This might be why you need to go to nature first, right? Somewhere where you can kind of like clear your head, get really solid in how you want to go forward with this, what you want to communicate. I think that there can't be any room for things to be vague in this situation. Sounds like there needs to be boundaries. Sounds like there needs to be safe space. Sounds like you need to make your intentions very clear. You need to communicate clearly. So don't just like kind of throw caution to the wind. Like it does feel like there's a little bit of preparation that's needed in this situation. But if you shoot your shot, you got a bright future ahead of you, right? Obstacles moving out of the way. You can get back to that place of happiness in this situation. But you just got to stop being afraid of fear and just thumb your nose at it. Go for it anyway. It'll turn out well.